Too much rain. Stuck in the house again. Here we go. It's really picking up now. Who wants to play in the rain? Hey, take off your shirt. Don't let Maddie out. School was canceled today, so what else you gonna do? Go play in the rain, man. You're wet. I hope that chocolate milk was worth it. And how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Philo in the Philippines, North Caloocan City, where the city meets the province. How you guys doing? Another very wet and soggy day. Check this out. Filled up the basins here in less than a couple of hours. I'm doing a little laundry in that one, but filled these guys up in less than 2 hours. We are just getting torrential downpours. I think this is day 5. It's so bad you can't even really leave the house. And you know, before I do realize, by the way, I do realize I live in the Philippines and it's rainy season. Okay, I realize all that. What you guys don't understand is the reason that Philippine vloggers talk so much about rainy season is because it's very, very difficult to live in it 24/7. Okay, it's not easy at all. This particular storm that's going through, I didn't even look up the name of it. I mean, who cares anymore at this point where, you know, you're stuck in the house. But it has been pretty much 5 straight days of almost constant rain. I'm sure that while I'm making this video, it's probably going to start back up again because it's probably rained 14 times. I think it's noon right now. We probably had 14 different rain sessions between 6 a.m. and noon. About every 10 minutes it drops another inch. So we'll see what happens. I thought I'd make a, since I can't go out and run around and walk around, I thought I'd try and make a video talking about how different. So I want to talk about some of the things that make it different here, some of the things that when you're moving from the Western world and becoming a full-time Philippine resident, and I've talked about this a lot of times, guys, it's so different being a visitor than it is living here full-time. It's so different, my God. And I'll say this, I actually really miss my days as a visitor to the Philippines. I loved it here so much more then. I know that's going to sound negative, but you know, I'm somebody that has a tendency to tell the truth. That gets me into a lot of trouble here too. Something you got to be careful with is telling the truth here in the Philippines, especially under the roof of your own home. But anyway, let's talk about some of the things that make the Philippines different. Okay, the other week, Melanie went over to the bank. Oh, Melanie needed to And this is going to make you guys laugh, I know, or maybe not. Melanie needed to change the phone number on her bank account. Okay, something in the West, it's very simple to do, right? Well, guess what you have to do here in the Philippines. She had to go to BPI and wait in line for 2.5 hours to change the phone number on her bank account. Something in the West, you would log in online and you would do it in about a minute. It would take you about a minute to change your phone number on your bank account in the West. But in the Philippines, 2.5 hours at the bank branch waiting in line to do that. So that's one of the things that makes it more fun here. Also, you guys, I want to inform you that online banking, something we've had in the West for well over 20 years, is really just getting off the ground here. I'm with BDO, and none of the utility bills that I have I can pay online with BDO because it's just really starting up, and they haven't signed, agreements to become payees or receivers from BDO yet. So believe it or not, something we've had in the West for well over 20 years. Online bill pay is just starting up here in the Philippines. So the fortunate thing is a lot of your bills that you can pay at like 7-Eleven, and there's 7-Elevens everywhere. There's like these little ATM kiosks where you can go and type in your account number and pay your electrical bill right there. And there's also something called Bayad centers, which are payment centers. So you don't necessarily have to go to that particular utility company to pay the bill off. So there's some things that they have. You got to keep in mind that the Philippines is still very much a cash society, where in the West in the U.S. in Southern California when I lived there was no reason to carry cash at all. You could swipe your ATM card everywhere you went, and it's still not the case here. Some places you can. I'll give you guys an example. My Suzuki dealership. This is Suzuki Motorcycles, you guys, one of the biggest motorcycle companies in the world. Here in the Philippines, will not accept Visa credit cards as payment. They're not set up to do it, believe it or not. As shocking as that might be, a Suzuki motorcycle dealership cannot accept a Visa credit card as payment. Now, if that's not the most bizarre thing, I can't imagine. I really can't imagine. They take cash only there at the Suzuki dealership in Quezon City, where I bought my motorcycle. What else? What else did I want to talk about? Hold on, I've got some of these things written down on my phone that I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry. Okay, just some of the things that happen here that are different, okay, and that make you kind of scratch your head and wonder, why did that happen to me? And here's one of the other things dealing with my Suzuki dealership. I went over there. This is a few months back to pick up my temporary license plate for my motorcycle. Okay, now this is a stainless steel plate that's painted white. It's very nice looking. And what happens when you have a temp license plate is they take a permanent marker, and they, your Philippines license plate is typically 9 or 10 digits, and they will write those numbers on that temp license plate for you. Well, the girl that did my license plate, for whatever reason, only half the license plate was done in permanent marker, and the other half was done in a marker that I could just swipe down the side of the plate with my finger, and all the numbers would go away. Thank God Melanie was smart enough, my wife. She said, take a picture of that. And we took a picture of the plate as soon as she gave it to me. We put that plate inside a plastic bag, and we carried the plate home in the car. By the time we got home, the first 5 letters were rubbed off of the plate just from the plastic bag, touching the plate. So, I mean, why did that happen? Why did she make half of the plate out with permanent marker and the other half with a marker that would simply wipe off with your finger? I mean, why did that happen? These are things that happen here that this is something you could run into almost on a daily basis in the Philippines. Things that make you scratch your head, and you just go, Well, now why didn't she just write out the whole plate with the permanent marker? And her handwriting was brilliant. She was very nice handwriting. It would have been perfect had she done it. But for some reason, in her mind, the first 5 digits had to be done in erasable marker and the last 4 digits in the permanent marker. So, I don't know. But these are the type of things that you deal with almost on a daily basis here in the Philippines. Things that make you scratch your head. And here's another one. And although it's turned me around, I want to show you guys something. For those of you guys who don't know, they just recently came up with a new 5 peso coin. And here it is. I don't know how that's going to look on cam. I hope that looks good. Well, here's the 1 peso coin. Does it look familiar at all to you? And before you judge, let me show you the old 5 peso. This is the old 5 peso coin. Pretty obvious, right? The difference. And here's the new one. Okay. Now, just to stress my point even more, I'm going to throw this 5 peso coin in my hand with a bunch of other 1 peso coins. Now look at that. Can you see it in there anywhere? Does anybody see it? Where's the 5 peso coin? Do you see it in there? Ah, yeah, you can actually see it right there. Let's say I turn it over though. Let's say it's 10 p.m. and you're on the jeepney. Do you see it now? Where's it at? Where's it at in there? Okay, but now, let me tell you where I backpedal on this a little bit. This really made me mad when I first saw it, because I thought, well, that's typical Philippines. Only in the Philippines would the government, vote for a coin that looks so similar to the one. Now, these are the 2 most widely used coins probably in the entire country, the 5 and the 1. The 5 and the 1. Probably the 2 most widely used. Why would you make it look almost identical? But here is the catcher. Now, let's take a look at the 10 peso coin. This is the new 10 peso coin. Okay, so now we're seeing a pattern here. Now maybe it starts to make a little bit of sense. Okay, here's the old one. Here's the old 10 peso and the new 10 peso. Okay, now, here's the 5 and here's the 1. Do I have them out of order here? Okay. 10, 5, and 1. Okay, so now we're seeing a pattern. The 5's a little bit bigger than the 1. The 10's a little bit bigger than the 5, and they all look similar. So maybe this was done, maybe this whole thing was done in an effort to increase production and to make production more streamlined and also make it more affordable. Okay, so where I was first very upset about this change, I have backpedaled and I see that maybe what they're trying to do is streamline things here and make everything a little bit less expensive to produce and easier to produce. Okay, as you can see, the old 5 and 10 had different colors in them. Had copper, or obviously it's not gold, but it's a mix of silver and copper. Probably a little bit harder to produce than these 2 are, the 10 and the 5. Now they're all made of silver. Okay, it's just a bigger mold. So who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. And let's see if I can give you one more thing that's happened here. Okay, yeah, here's another one. I was over at one of the things that's very inexpensive here, and you know, I've got back problems. I was in a motorcycle accident, but one of the things that's very popular here is massage, and it's also very cheap. You know, 300 pesos gets you a really good massage. That's 6 USD. So I went into this massage parlor, one of our local ones over here, and the girl spends, the girl who greets me at the door, she spends about a good minute, and that's, you know, that's a long time, you guys, explaining to me what their top massage is, what the best massage that they can give me is. And she's explaining this procedure to me, and she sold me on it. And I said, okay, great, I'll take that procedure. And she follows up with saying, well, sir, that girl is not here today. She called in sick, and we can't, that massage is not available. So, I mean, she spent a full minute or even longer, maybe explaining to me what this deep tissue massage was and how great it was for the body, and you know how much better I would feel after I had this procedure, but it was not available there at that time. So you know, in my mind, I think, why would you go through all of that time explaining that to me if the girl's not here in the first place? But that's what makes it different here in the Philippines. That's what makes it more fun here. And these are things that you would really only know if you were a resident and you're living here 24/7. So let's see, I do have a small Tagalog phrase that we can do. Sorry about not doing a walk around and doing this, you know, kind of a silly, I don't really like talking head videos. I'd rather be out there, you know, running around, showing you guys what it's like to live here. But I guess this is a part of living here too, you know, being stranded in the house. And because it's raining so hard that you can't get out and do anything. I'm surprised it hasn't started raining since I've been doing this video. But our Tagalog phrase is going to be tama po. Okay, you got that? Tama po translates to you are right or you are correct. You're right or you are correct, sir. Okay, tama po. Something that's going to come in very handy when you're out and about. You're in the markets. You're at the sari-sari. Tama po. Got that? Okay. And, you know, I'm reminded of something, you guys, from one of my favorite vloggers, and although controversial to a lot of people, Ned over at My Philippine Dreams. And I'm going back to the Ned and Michelle days when that channel first started. Ned would talk about how you have to have an attitude of gratitude when you live here. And before I became a full-time resident of the Philippines, I didn't really understand what that comment or phrase meant, the attitude of gratitude. But now that I'm a full-time resident here, it's become quite apparent to me what Ned means when he says the attitude of gratitude. You've got to be thankful for the things that you have around you. You've got to be thankful for the fact that you know, I'm living here as an expat on, you know, roughly probably 1/5 of the money it takes me to live in the West in Southern California. So these are things I need to be grateful for. You know, grateful for having a very good and loving wife and family that I'm a part of. And you have to forget about the fact that things are so different here, and that the culture and the people think so differently from what we do in the West. And just be grateful for what you have. And that's what I'm saying today, is the old attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for what you have. And you guys that have supported my channel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And hopefully this latest storm will pass soon, and we can get back out and do something out there. Get some boots on the ground and do some walking around videos. And there's a new coffee shop that opened up over in close to the kids' school I'd like to go visit and make a video on, so maybe we'll do that. Anyway, thanks a lot for supporting me. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Share my videos, and let's make the Philippines more fun to talk about, and also a fun place to live by all of us getting together and talking about it, leaving comments, and sharing our experiences. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.